everyone. Welcome to the Artcast. This is a 12 podcast series with myself, Ryan Abraham, publisher from USCfootball.com, and Dr. Arthur C. Bartner, who's been running the Trojan Marching Band for, I don't know, half a century. Dr. Bartner, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, you're very welcome, and this is a new experience for me, and I'm very excited.
I know you've been doing a lot of Zoom calls. This is similar to that. What we thought we were going to do, we came up with the idea, thanks to Brett from the band, who's doing a lot of work behind the scenes on this, but a 12-week limited podcast. So it's going to cover some of your favorite games, Dr. Bartner's favorite games, from his 5 decades at the helm of the USC Trojan Marching Band. Plus, there's some cool traditions and stuff going on with USC football, the Trojan Marching Band. So we're going to go over some of those. Today, we're going to go over the 1976 football season, John Robinson's first, and then kind of take you through a typical game day of what Dr. Bartner and the Trojan Marching Band do. It's not just what you see at halftime and stuff and then playing, fight on every time there's a first down. It's a whole day event. And unfortunately, we're not going to get those this year. But I thought the fans, and I think hopefully you guys do, will enjoy some of those traditions for the band. Because there's a lot of really interesting traditions there, Dr. Bartner, that you started most of them.
That's correct. They've all developed through the years. I have to give the students a lot of credit because a lot of them were created by the students, and they just kind of were picked up by our fans. And as we make our march to the Coliseum, the fans just come along and they kind of pick up what the band's doing. So it's really been a very exciting 50 years.
Yeah, 50, crazy. Unfortunately, this year is going to be a little bit different. I don't know. Maybe we get some football after Thanksgiving or January. You guys, I'm sure the band will be ready, right? If the Pac-12 gives a call and we can have football again later on in the year or early next year, you guys will be ready.
Yes, we're practicing virtually, and hopefully we're accomplishing a lot, but it still doesn't take the place of being in person and on the gridiron.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, hopefully we get that opportunity. But before we get too off topic, you and both I can talk a lot, so we can get off topic easy. So the first topic we want to talk about is that 1976 season for USC. So, this is the weekend we should have seen the home opener for the Trojans against New Mexico. So, kind of keeping with that theme, you wanted to talk about a game, a home opener for a season that wasn't as memorable. It was a memorable one for you, but it's a game that USC lost. So typically, I don't think we'd go over something like that. But John Robinson took over for John McKay's team. He moved on to the NFL, and USC was ranked number 8 coming into the season. And then along comes Missouri and wins 46-25. That was September 11th in a rainy Coliseum way back in 1976.
Well, I picked this game, first of all, because John Robinson and I are buddies, and I think he's one of the great coaches USC ever had. But it's what occurred after this defeat and between the team and the band that a lot of people don't know about and that I want to share today. And John Robinson tells this story better than I do. So if you have the clip of John explaining what happened the next week, then I'll add to it after the video.
That sounds good. I'll play the clip. It's about 2 minutes from legendary USC coach John Robinson. Here you go.
Getting ready for my first game, and we were touted to be really good. And we went out and lost to Missouri in the Coliseum, 40-something to 14, And people some wanted me hung, others wanted me just fired that week. And it was a very tough week. And in the middle of practice that week, television crews were everywhere because they're kind of like the buzzards hovering over a dying animal. And the band came marching through the gate right in the middle of practice and started playing. And that was a surprise to me. and stopped practice. And the team's standing there, and a little girl, I'm not little, she's one of the participants in the band, puts down her instrument, runs over and grabs one of our players and starts dancing. You know, and I'm saying, oh my God, I won't make it to the weekend. You know, I'll be fired here. And pretty soon the whole team was dancing, and everybody was totally shocked, mostly me. But it did something to our team, relaxed them. We went up and won. We were going to Oregon, beat Oregon badly, won all the rest of the games, almost won the national championship. And Art always maintained that he saved my job, and he may well have, because he's just sense that we needed to do something. He said, I figured you guys needed some help. And we got some help, and I wish they would take the McKay statue down and put a statue of that little girl up there, because I have no idea who she was, but she was great. But it was part of what happens there. And the team would be angry if you didn't have them. After that, every Friday they came down. Every Thursday on road trips, every Friday when we played at home. So it was part of the tradition that they have. I'm getting ready.
Great stuff from John Robinson there, Dr. Bartner. I mean, to me, the story is great because it just seems like over the years, you've made the Trojan Marching Band not something that's like entertainment. It's like you've really been part of the football team. And this is an opportunity where the football team kind of gets kicked in the mouth, and it's the band that comes in and picks them up. And obviously, you know, the results were great after that.
Well, what was unique was we were totally unannounced. You know, we practice adjacent to each other, and the team is right across the street from Cromwell Field. And, you know, and John, I mean, John is correct. They just wanted his head. You know, you can't take, you know, John McKay's place. You go out with a great team and you get kicked by Missouri that nobody ever heard of. And, boy, they were just after him. And I think it was a Thursday practice, and I decided, spur of the moment, we're just going to march in and we're going to interrupt whatever this team is doing at that moment. And of course, John and I had a great relationship, and you know, what's the worst he can do? You know, yell at me or throw me out. But anyway, we came in there, and there's TV cameras, and I'll tell you, it was one of the great moments of my career, just the interplay between team and band. And, you know, John claims that I helped save his job, but I say, yes, I think I saved John's job. Kidding around, of course. But it's just one of the great moments of team and band and team as one. And I'll tell you, this team ran the table. They didn't lose a game the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's crazy. So after that loss, they won 10 straight, including wins over number 2 UCLA, number 13 Notre Dame, won the Pac-8 championship, and then set up a matchup with Michigan in the Rose Bowl. We'll get to that in a second. We got some highlights from that game too. But do you know, he mentioned like a little girl. He was talking about probably a smaller member, a female member of the Trojan Marching Band. Do you know who that was?
You know, I have no idea. But the interesting thing is that this tradition has continued from 76 all the way up through 2019. And there's a number that we play. It's called All Right Now. It was Marv Goo's favorite number. And whenever we play this is kind of the cue. The song girls, the girls from the band, they all run out, and it's like one big party.
Yeah. And that's when you play during the games, that's for turnovers, right? You play All Right Now?
Right. That's when we get the game day traditions. that's one of our traditions. When a good thing happens, like a fumble recovery, an intercepted pass, we play All Right Now.
Yeah. Now, this is just a little off topic, but Stanford plays that song too, but I think it's more like a first downs or something. Is that, you guys ever chat about that they're playing the same song?
Yeah. Well, they play it more, like a fight song.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knows their fight song. They don't have a fight on or a tribute to Troy. They don't have fight songs. But this All Right Now has become like their fight song. And it's always fun. In fact, when we get to the game where we would have gone up to Stanford, it's fun because we always play All Right Now bigger, better, louder than they do. So it's always with great pleasure that we play this tune.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's, so we're the end of that season. You start off, obviously USC stubbing its toe. You give the pep talk and you get everyone excited, and then they go and win 10 straight games. The 63rd Rose Bowl games, it was January 1st, 1977. I'm gonna put up some highlights as we're talking about this a little bit. Early on, star USC tailback Ricky Bell goes down with an injury. It's not looking good.
Yes, this, Michigan, which, by the way, is my alma mater. I obviously was not rooting for him. But when Ricky Bell went down, everybody's going, is holding their breath because Michigan had this, high-scoring offense. I think they averaged close to 40 points a game. And here we lost one of the great running backs in the history of USC and replaced them with Charles White. And by the way, that's Vince Evans. This was one of the great calls, I think, in Rose Bowl history, because Charlie White was just running the ball like 3 out of 4 plays. And then we get, right near the goal line, and they fake it to Charlie, and Vince Evans kept the ball and went, untouched into the end zone for our first touchdown. And it was just a great call by the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that was so we showed that one where he fakes the handoff, and I think 3 or 4 defenders that we showed jumping on Charles White trying to stop him, and then Vince runs around the corner there. So halftime it's 7-6. I'll play the second half highlights too, but it's a little more of your guy Charles. Oh, I'm sorry, and played the wrong one there. A little more of Charles White.
Yeah, there it is.
Went back to John Robinson. My bad.
And the big thing was the defense. I mean, there's Charlie again running for a touchdown. I think he had over 100 yards, and this was the old John McKay student body right, student body left. There wasn't much to the passing attack, and I think Charlie carried the ball over 30 times, and he had over 100 yards, and he was just a workhorse. And it was the beginning of just a great career for Charlie White.
Yeah, 114 yards and a touchdown. And at the end, the announcer's like, this is going to be the next great tailback for USC. Of course, he won a Heisman. Vince Evans was the Rose Bowl, player of the game. And, Bo Schembechler, oh my, I have a hard time pronouncing it. Only one touchdown. 14-7 USC win. But yeah, you're right. That was a high-scoring Michigan team, and they only scored 6 points.
Right, and there's when I remember the defense, and remember we're going back over 40 years now, and I remember the guys that I became friendly with and I knew, and we had this stud. 2 guys I remember. We had this stud on the defensive line, Gary Jeter, and he was just all over the field. And then the other one I remember very well is Dennis Thurman. He was the safety. But anyway, they just shut down this great Michigan offense. And that's really what won the game.
Yeah. So that year, when you get the band involved with the football team early, after a tough start, the great results and win all those games and win the Rose Bowl and against, your alma mater. Do you think that changed the relationship between the band and football coaches from that point? I mean, I think you had a good relationship already, but did it add to that relationship?
Yes. Well, the relationship, again, was created by Marv Goo. And Marv was the coach. John kept, if not all, most of John McKay's staff. So Marv was there. Hudson Houck was the offensive line coach. I think it's Don Lindsay was the defensive coach. I mean, so the relationship was there. But the fact that the band just kind of loosened up this team instead of, moping around and, just, phoning in the rest of the season, it just loosened them up and maybe brought them in even closer. And I think they made a commitment not to lose another game. And then the payoff was really against, I think, Michigan was rated number 2 in the country. And that team just became so tight and they played for each other. And it was just a wonderful season to be part of. And yes, I think the band and the team became even closer.
Yeah. Well, great stuff. The 1976 season, we'll try to do specific games over these next, we'll do 11 more episodes after this one, at least for now. Who knows? We will do more in the future. But while we don't have football, this is going to be a fun thing to do. Want to give a few announcements before we get going here. So you can get your limited edition Dr. Bartner 80th birthday, happy birthday, by the way, Dr. Bartner, bundle.
Thank you.
Yeah. It includes a signed The Gold Standard album with the 50th logo pin, magnet, mug, keychain, T-shirt for $80. It's a package worth well over $100. So if you go to uscbookstore.com/Spirit of Troy, all the proceeds will benefit the band's scholarship fund. So make sure you go check that out, uscbookstore.com/Spirit of Troy. Then, Dr. Bartner, your 50th anniversary celebration, the Golden Legacy, which was originally scheduled for May 2nd, 2020. Mm-hmm. We had this little pandemic thing that happened. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but so that's delayed. But it's going to be 1 year later, May 2nd, 2021. So updates, and you can sign up for the band's email list at uscband.com/celebrate50. So you can check that out. So unfortunately, I had to delay it a year, but it gives you some more time with the band, I guess, right?
Well, yes. Well, maybe we'll start a new tradition, a virtual tradition. But yes, we're working on the show, and it's going to be really a summary of a 50-year glorious career. And we'll have football stars, we'll have entertainment, fireworks. So it'll be a grand celebration.
Yeah. All right. So May of 2021. So we'll delay that one a year. Well, hey, Dr. Bartner, this is a lot of fun. I thought this was a neat idea when you guys talked about it and like, hey, we've had fun when we've done shows before. And every time we speak at an event, you always make fun of me. So I made sure I wore my USCfootball.com shirt on. I'm not wearing anything blue or anything. You get mad at me. But I've always had fun. It's been great to get to know you the last couple of years. It's fun talking to you. So I appreciate you coming on and doing all this.
Well, I want to thank the listeners for joining us. I mean, this is something brand new for me, and I appreciate, Ryan, you keep it flowing. You make it easier for me, so I don't even have to think. I like that. But I appreciate everybody listening in, and I think it'll be fun. We'll do 11 more games and a bunch more traditions.
Yeah, it should be a great time. So thanks again, Dr. Bartner, and thanks everyone for listening. Hopefully you can support the Trojan Marching Band, and hopefully we'll get football sooner rather than later. All right, that's our
Fight on!
Fight on, guys. Thanks.